Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku.co daily stock market review for the trading day ending Wednesday, August 3rd. Firstly, just taking a quick look at the performance of our various asset classes, and in the equity space, the solid performer today was the Russell 2000. It was up by 0.86%, followed by the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P very close together, up 0.32% and 0.31% respectively. And then once again the Dow just lagging the other indices by being up 0.23%. Looking at the alternative asset classes here, gold. We saw some selling in gold today, down 0.48%, and the bonds just up slightly, really not terribly much, pretty much even. Importantly, the VIX oscillator has come off once again, so that's suggesting that there isn't a lot of fear in the market. We will be looking at the VIX in a minute. But firstly to the S&P 500 on the daily charts, and here we see buyers coming into the market today following the selling from the previous day's trading. The market finding support down under that window that was opened up about 3 weeks or so ago, 2 or 3 weeks. The market closing, failing to close down through the window, but trading down through there on a couple of occasions, but it obviously is exerting its effect. And I like to see markets actually closing through windows to finish off their influence. Today, the buyers have taken control by the close of trading and closed just around the Tenkan-sen indicator. So where we were previously trading down through the Tenkan-sen, it suggested that we had seen a potential change of sentiment in the S&P in the short-term time frame, but now trading just back slightly above and just around the Tenkan-sen suggests that we have a neutral market in that short-term time frame. We do maintain a bullish market in the longer-term and medium-term time frames by trading above both the Ichimoku cloud and the Kijun-sen. If we look at the Kijun-sen is just starting to point up, and that's interesting. It's reflecting that we may see the beginnings of some upside momentum, but I think that's probably reflecting a bit of a lag in the market, reflecting some of these highs that we were making prior to the last 2 days trading. Just looking at the ticker span, and that is well above the corresponding price action, so suggesting that we still have some momentum in this market, and supporting the idea that off the back of the build of the momentum in net terms between the open and the close and the formation of a white body candle today, that we could see the market trading higher and testing back up to this swing high around the 2178 region. Next to the bands, and the bands are squeezing, and this is suggesting that we're not likely to see any strong trending action at the moment. Previously we were trading outside of that upper band, giving us a strong bullish tone in that medium-term time frame, then trading within the bands, suggesting that that strong tone had ended. The market was still bullish by trading above the middle of the bands, but finding resistance around that upper band. We then mean reverted, as one would expect, and the bands are squeezing in a period where volatility is coming off. And once again today, that middle of the band's holding a support, the market just bouncing off there. If the market does trade to higher levels, we will be looking to the upper band trading at 2176 to hold as resistance. If we do trade to the downside, looking to the lower band at 2140, 2141 to hold as support. Next through to the Russell 2000, and the Russell 2000 was the stronger a stronger index in the market today, bouncing off that round number 1200 support, a previously very important area in the recent past, and it continues to be. The last 2 candles have found support around that region. Very similar close in relation to the Tenkan-sen today with this market, but a more solid white body, suggesting that net momentum to the upside is greater. We do have resistance around that 1212 level. It has been a previous resistance level, then support, now holding as resistance today, so that's going to be our benchmark moving forward, as will the round number 1200. A bullish market in the longer term time frames and just neutral in the shorter term time frame by trading very close to that Tenkan-sen indicator. As with the S&P, the Chica span is above the corresponding price action and is supporting the bullish activity that we're seeing in those longer time frames. And to the bands, and as we saw with the S&P, we're seeing a squeeze going on, so suggesting that we should start preparing for some trending price action. The bands will probably squeeze a little bit more here, so we're likely to see perhaps even further retracement, or the market test back up to that upper band and find some resistance. That upper band trades at 1220 or for continued congestion. Next to the Nasdaq 100, and buying in the Nasdaq 100 today, following support coming in down at 4696 and the Tenkan-sen indicator. Trading above the Tenkan-sen, maintaining price action above there, and the close above there does suggest that we still have a bullish market in the short-term time frame, as well as the medium and the longer-term time frame. We still are looking a little overextended in depth away from the cloud and from the Kijun-sen, so it wouldn't surprise to see a retracement, but we do need to continue to monitor the Tenkan-sen and 4696 as levels of strong support. To the upside, some resistance just coming into play today around the 4737 level, and may continue to hold as resistance moving forward. If we do breach through there in a bullish manner, we could end up trading to this previous swing high around 4767. And looking to the bands with the Nasdaq 100, and very different trading than we've seen with the S&P and the Russell 2000, where we continue to trade outside of that upper band, suggesting that we still have a strong bullish tone to this market, and bouncing off support at that upper band for the second consecutive day with the buyers taking control now does suggest that there is potential for a change of trend back to the upside, and potential for the market to trade up to that major high at 4767. And to the Dow 30, and the Dow 30 continues in a downtrend, and for today finding support down at the 18288 level. Previously we saw support coming in there for the prior day's trading. The market unable to close down through there, some rejection from there with the sellers losing commitment. Once again, sellers lost commitment down at 18288, and we saw the buyers close with control, but failing to close above 18351 resistance, and maintaining price action down below the Tenkan-sen, suggesting that we still have a negative tone in that short-term time frame. We do have a bull market in the longer time frames, supported by the Chica span, so suggesting that if we can break out through that 18351 level and build some upside momentum in terms, we may see the market test to possibly beyond the Tenkan-sen, which trades around 18409. And just looking to the bands with the Dow 30, and this certainly is the weaker index in the equity space, where we've seen the Nasdaq trading outside of the upper band, reflecting strength. The other indices, the Russell 2000 and the S&P, trading around the middle and just bouncing off the middle. But the Dow continues to trade in that lower half of the band, suggesting that it is weaker than the other indexes. If we do see this index continue to come off, looking to support at that lower band at 18246. If we do bounce, looking to resistance once again at the middle of the bands around 18409. We do have a squeeze going on here as well, suggesting we should be preparing for some trending activity.